Hello, I am Be Better Gamer. Welcome to my channel. I am bringing you a let's play of the game Inside, Play Dead's Inside, as you can see by the title, and I am being joined by my illustrious wife, Drunken Homemaker. You're pretty illustrious.
That's hilarious.
Say hi to the people watching.
Hi to the people watching.
This is our first Let's Play together. This is the first Let's Play for my channel. I have another channel called Be Better Gamer Wrestling, where I focus on wrestling video games, but I wanted to just talk about other video games, other non-wrestling video games. And Inside was a game we both played recently. Well, you know, my wife watched me play, but we both played Limbo back in the day. And I just thought it would be a great game to start with because there's so much to talk about. And this is not a live Let's Play. I don't have a controller in my hand. We are actually watching a replay that I recorded. And so some parts are going to go by faster than when we first played. You might notice.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip over some parts. You know, I don't die as much.
Yeah, you usually die by this point.
I'm usually dead right here. But this is how the game just starts. We just jump right into it right away.
Which I love.
When I first played this game and as soon as we started, I was just thinking Limbo.
Right. Yeah, and I think that that's definitely purposeful. They know that was their claim to fame, and so I think starting and putting us sort of in a similar, I guess like a parallel universe of Limbo really worked. We're in a forest.
Yeah, and we'll get into like all the theories too, whether or not this game is actually connected to Limbo or not. You know, there's so many different theories, but I just think also like, yeah, if it's going off of like the fans of Limbo and they know that Play Dead did this, that's a great entry point. And if you didn't play Limbo, it's still such a cool opening. You know, why are we in this forest? What's with this truck? You know, it's like.
Actually, it's what's funny about it is that it really startles you right from the beginning. And I was gonna make a reference to a play, and then I was like, oh, that's probably a little too far removed from, you know, anything that the viewers would be familiar with. But the idea of like people being taken away and that whole idea, I feel like it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very topical. I feel this video game is just so it's so timely. I feel
Yes.
And that just seeing that opening, you know, just starting with the people in the truck is so startling, and it just sort of like immediately grabs your attention. And yeah.
Now Limbo was like a puzzle game, right? It was a puzzle game, and there were some enemies in it. These are the enemies of the game. These masked people. And when I was playing it first time through, when I got to that moment right there with the people, I thought, well, this is a puzzle game, but it's a puzzle stealth game now. You know what I mean? Like right away, you're hiding.
Yeah.
Right away, the game is telling you, you have to hide. Whoever you are, you're playing this little boy in the red shirt. There's not a whole lot of color. Or, you know, we're in the forest, but...
He's the only pop of color.
Yeah, he's the whatever fridge that I just threw down has kind of like an orange tint. There we see some more people in the background. We see a dog. We see the same truck, most likely.
Yeah, it looks like he's going in the same direction as the truck, which right off the bat tips you off to he's not... It should tip you off that he's not running away from you think he's running away, right? Because he's escaping. He's trying to escape the people that are chasing him, so you think he's running away, but if in actuality he's going in the same direction as the truck, which should actually tell you that he's going into the lion's den, if anything. It should tip you off right from the beginning, but I guess it didn't when we were first playing it. It was just like, it's like, oh, this kid is
Here's the dog. Here's the first sort of like encounter with an enemy. I pretty much nailed that jump. I think the first time we played through, I didn't get caught by the dog the first time we played through.
Didn't we get caught in the water?
But
though?
Coming up, when we encounter the people again, in this playthrough, I don't get caught by them, but I did the first time, and I think that's... I mean, right there, if I would have been caught by the dog... Bless you.
Thank you.
I would have been mauled to death.
Right.
So yeah, there is a danger element, and like you said, here I wanted to stop real quick because I remember when we first played this, I pointed this out where I was like, that reminds me a whole lot of Limbo.
That moment.
You know, just
the little dust particles.
the little dust particles. Maybe the butterflies. The butterflies were a big symbol.
Flies,
And just the fact that it's lit, I mean, it's obviously nighttime, would you say? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
So it's like that, why is that lit? Why is that part lit?
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
It is very, it's definitely a callback to the earlier game, but like why? Why
Exactly, why? And
calling
here we
back
go,
that?
more people. And I thought this was really cool because with games like this, it's like, can they see me? Can they not see me? And then here the game is telling you, no, you gotta hide that flashlight.
Right.
And again, when we start rolling down that hill, there's no press this button to jump, press this button to move it. The game just like sort of just draws you in. And like you said, you don't know if you're escaping right away or if you're going towards something. But looking back on it, knowing what we know about where the game goes, and you are going inside, and it's called inside, we know that we are going towards something. What we're going towards, obviously we know now, but at the time we didn't. But we knew that...
It just seemed like he was escaping, almost like a...
You had to keep moving. You knew you had to keep moving.
Yeah, but it also felt like, what's that one movie?
See, here I tripped the first time we played, and when you trip, he just kind of like looms over ominously. And then here, this is what really startled me when we first played, because I jumped out initially, and as soon as you jump out, he'll shoot you.
Yeah.
He'll shoot you dead. And
Yeah.
that right there is like, you just
Damn.
saw a grown man, and here they're shooting at you again, but you don't get hit there. The dogs come running back. It's like immediate danger, and it's like they have no problem killing a kid.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that startled me. With Limbo, it was kind of different because like you're playing as a kid, and you have like that first moment where you most people die with the little bear trap.
But it's also like, and it's like a spider.
Yeah, and then
You
the
know?
spider kills you, and then those,
Then they do have another, like a group of people that are trying to kill you, but it just seems a little more otherworldly there.
Yeah.
This is like based in sort of, not necessarily in our universe, but in a similar universe than the one we live in, and just, adult people. And it also seems like, am I wrong in saying that in Limbo it definitely seems like it's other children, like other smaller...
yeah, they're probably your age or around your
right.
age. That's
Whereas
what it
here
seems
it's like the adults
These
are trying
adults.
to get the kid. And
So here I did not do this the first time we played through. Like I said, this is a replay. So when I was replaying it, I was going to find these little orbs, these little things that look very similar to the mind control devices we're going to see later on. And again, big spoiler alert if you haven't played this game. I guess I should have said in the beginning.
yeah, we should have said it in the beginning.
We're going to go through the whole thing and we're going to talk about it.
Here be spoilers.
So
but we haven't spoiled anything thus yet.
Yeah.
We just alluded to something.
But it's the kind of thing like if you're watching a let's play, it's going to be spoiled
Yeah.
no matter what.
hopefully you're aware.
So
that it's
hopefully
gonna be
you're aware.
spoiled.
But so you have to go and find these little off the beaten path. It's a very linear game, but there are some moments where you go, left instead of right, you go up instead of down. And this was one of those ones that I had to find and come back to. I didn't use a guide to find any of them. Again, that's another thing I loved about this game is that it was always pushing you in a direction. You kind of always knew where to go. You kind of always knew what to do. And talking about the broader themes of the game, it's like it was almost like purposeful, I think. You're always being drawn, you're always being pulled, and I think that's not only great game design, but just also the themes about the game, about when you get to the end and you have that big hive mind moment, or and you start to wonder, we'll see the people later on, are they being mind controlled? This whole thing is like you're almost compelled to do these things, and it's like years of gaming history where you have to keep going right, but also just in the sense of this game, it's like you got to keep moving because you feel like the boy needs to keep moving.
In a lot of ways, it's almost like similar to BioShock in that way, that it uses these predetermined devices that video games use
Yes.
to make the player do what it wants, and then it reveals this twist, that
Yes.
you're not expecting, but you're just following what you think gamers are supposed to do, or what you as the player is supposed to do, or what's being laid out in front of you, and then it's the whole. What's the line in that one?
Would you kindly?
No, it's the something. The slave,
a man chooses, a slave obeys.
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually was replaying BioShock as well when we just started playing inside. This is another moment that I did not discover the first time through, and this was the only thing I looked up online for. Because when we beat the game, I was like, that's the ending? And then I saw that there was rumors that, no, there's another ending. Not rumors, but it was already proven that there was a hidden ending. And hidden in this little cornfield, which I got huge Signs vibes, by the way, when we first played it. I was like, Signs. You go into this little thing, and again, if you've played the game, if you've beaten the game, that picture right there shows you everything you need to know. But this is like probably the best hidden sphere of all of them, because you can't really see the handle in the cornfield. And if this is your first time playing it, you're not going to think to hold down X to find it. So it's very much something that's meant to be found the second time through.
Right.
Actually, I think all the orbs up until when we get to a part past the safe, you're not meant to find the first time through.
Right.
Which is so...
you definitely didn't find them the first time you played.
Which is like...
This part, oh my god. So this part, I was playing... Like, I remember playing this game and just being like so... already so excited. And so like taken in by the story. And then the little baby chick showed up, and I was like, what is happening? I have no idea what's happening, but I love it. This was like one of those first moments where, like, now looking back on it, it's like, this is so cool, but like so random. You don't... And then also, I mean, now, like, looking at it in retrospect, who's controlling the chicks?
Yeah. Who's controlling the chicks? Why do they follow you? Later on, there's a point where you get followed by fish.
Right. Who's control? You know, so is it the same entity controlling the little baby chicks? Because that's not normal for baby chicks. Do tend to follow certain things, but ones that they think that is the mama bird. You know, but this is kind of not natural. And I think when I first played through it, I was like, I figured it was like, oh, well, he's a kid and he's an innocent being, and that's why they feel like they need to follow him. But it's not natural the way that they're following him. You know what I mean? And I think that's
also
sort
the
of
sound they make. They kind of sound like bells. I didn't think they sounded like chicks. Then again, I've never been followed by a group of chicks.
They do sound like chicks, but I get what you're saying about it not sounding. It's an unnatural occurrence. But when you first go through the game, it seems very innocent and very sweet and very almost like pointing towards, well, he's young and he's innocent, and that's why the chicks are following him. He is the pop of color. He is the ray of sunshine in this story.
Yeah.
And then it like again, this game just takes you for a ride, and it, you know.
And when we first played it, I just thought this was an interesting puzzle.
Yeah, right.
It took me a couple of minutes to figure it out, and I thought it was just like a clever puzzle, like, oh, I gotta push the chicks into it, I guess. Okay. And there you saw one chick didn't make it.
Yeah,
which was kind of sad.
Which is so sad.
But again, going back to the having, you know, gone through the game and coming back to this moment, you do the same thing with the other, you know, people you find. You sort of use them to do your bidding.
Yeah, and that's sort of the really, like, I feel like that was like the first moment where I was like, oh, that's
there's the
kind
big
of,
jump
yeah,
onto the pigs. Onto the dead pigs was have the worms coming out of, which I think you right away jumped and said, oh, those worms are like the worms from Limbo.
Yeah.
Which is another, again, is it a callback for Limbo? Are we in the same universe?
Right.
Are these parasitic, you know, did Limbo there's so many theories, but so this is another one where I didn't find the first time through, but I came back to it. I'm gonna go get another orb, and you see we're in a farm, and all those pigs down there barely moving, but they seem to be alive. And I thought this was a really cool moment. And you know, when I unlocked the orbs, so the achievements aren't popping because I already unlocked them, but when you unlock this one, the achievement is called Wee Wee Wee, and then the text for the achievement is called They Never Made It to Market.
Right.
And again, that has sort of, and I think we're gonna talk a lot about this, but when we run into the people being in the trucks, and then when we see the bodies that you can mind control, and then even when we get right into the facility and you have the people watching sort of the assembly line of new recruits, if you will, are they being sold to market? You know, are they the new cattle? Or have in this world have people become cattle? Have people become a commodity and transformed? And why is that okay? Why has that been allowed to happen? You know, what has changed in this world that, you know, or is it okay?
I guess I should have asked this before we started, but it's making like a beeping sound. Should we be spoiling stuff ahead of time? Like, we can allude to stuff, but should we
it's fine. Yeah, because this is like a post commentary.
Got it.
So
okay.
we can talk about stuff ahead of time if we needed to like make a point. Because again, part of what I enjoy about
this part.
Oh, there you go.
So this is something I know I'm gonna talk about it a bunch of times, but the sound design in this game is something to just marvel at, because I feel like they do such a great job, and this is just like one of the first instances. There's nothing more upsetting than the sound of a squealing pig, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
And this pig, just the way it looks and everything, is just like so like blah. Like so it's so upsetting. And you really do get the sense in this game that this is just a broken world. Why is this happening? And you just sort of...
And the way he hits that thud.
I know. It's so weird.
Yeah, the sound design with the sound effects and the music, which just comes in. We just had a long break of no music since the beginning when we were being chased. Right. And that music sort of signified danger. Now this music, I think, signifies that we're entering really the meat, the heart of this game, where you see the people in the background. And obviously I'm going right to the mind control device because I know what to do. But I remember when we first played it, this was the moment for me when we were first playing this game. You know, I had not seen any of this part in the previews or anything like that. I was very much like a media blackout in this game. I didn't want to know anything. And when we got to this moment in this game, that's when I was like all in on this game. I was like, what is going on?
I was already all in because I just from the beginning I just felt like, what is happening? This is such an interesting. It's so compelling. It pulls you in, and the thing is, it pulls you in, and you think, you know, because you played Limbo, you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I know what to expect, right? Mm-hmm. And you just have no idea.
You have no idea.
You're not gonna guess the ending to this video game. You know what I mean? And it's unlike anything we've ever played before. Yeah, you know,
we're like 15 minutes in, maybe 10 minutes in,
and already
it's showing me something I've never seen in any video game before.
Right, and the other thing that I think of is, I do believe that it borrows from different elements. So it's like I'm reminded of like that Nerd Writer video where he talks about the loot train battle.
Oh yeah.
And where he talks about how it borrows from all these different types of movies and different type of TV shows and you know, throughout cinema history, but it creates this perfectly original scene that we've never seen before. And that's what this video game is for me, where it's like it borrows from different places, and I wish
a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, and I wish I would have had more time to sort of like go back and look at it, because this is technically my second playthrough.
Yeah,
because you played it again with Bella. And then I think you did it another time.
Yeah, I had to play it a few times to re-record some stuff, so I was bouncing around a bit, but I probably got like 2 to 3 full playthroughs after I first played it. Is this the first truck from the beginning? Is this the truck from the beginning?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I would imagine
it would make sense.
It would make sense because it really does make it. I really do feel like he is going in the direction of the truck.
Yeah.
And it makes, you know, at first I thought to myself in the beginning, I remember thinking, oh, somebody that he loves is on that. You know, maybe it's one of his parents.
I was thinking that the whole time.
And that's, I think that's what you're supposed to think, and that's what they want you to think.
He's looking for someone he knows.
Exactly, yeah. It keeps making that sound as it's supposed to.
I think the battery might be dying on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully it'll last. But with that truck, it's interesting because if that's the same truck, it shows, you know, he wasn't too far already. Maybe he knew where the truck was going. You know, obviously he didn't follow the truck on the road, but he kind of had an idea. And also, now we're getting light coming in. It's daytime. So it's like, how long was his journey before there? That he knew he had to go there at night. You know what I mean? It's like, what kind of mission is this? Is this like a... Like you said, is he looking for someone? Was he sent here to find someone? Did he come out of his own accord? Is he already familiar with this area that he's trying to get to?
Right.
I was thinking a lot of that stuff. Here I died when we first played it.
Yeah, and I was kind of like...
I just stood right there, and I went down with it, and I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
I was like, you don't know basic physics? Like...
But see, that's the thing. That was the first real moment of this game where you got a big sense of the physics engine.
Yeah,
and physics plays a huge part in a
here.
lot of the puzzles of the game, which just shows how far they've come since making Limbo. Yeah. This is what I was talking about. This is the first sphere that I don't know how to say that.
I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, this is the first sphere you find. Sphere, you find orb, at least that I found. And the big, I think, signifier, bless you, is the big yellow cord. And again, those play
the pops of color.
Those
right?
play, yeah, those play a big role. You don't know it when you're first playing it, but those play a big role to unlocking the hidden ending of the game.
Right.
And you know, we'll and I think each of those places are pretty unique. Here's the second puzzle with the they're called gray people. They're called, you know, lifeless people. Some people call them just zombified beings. They don't have a name. What do you call them?
I don't know. You know, I felt like oh my gosh, I wish I would remember, because I feel like I didn't have a name for them because I think they're just so upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
no, that makes perfect sense.
The way that they move and the fact that you do get the sense that these people are dead. I think that's probably why I didn't want, and I didn't feel comfortable calling them zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're being controlled versus zombies just kind of going of their own accord. You know, and having some sort of semblance of life after death. These are just, they're just empty shells, and that's sort of like, I think, the really upsetting part about them, but also like what makes them unique. I haven't seen anything that looks like that before, because we've seen zombies, but they don't really move like zombies. The way that they move is very different and upsetting. And
I was also getting a lot of Limbo vibes in this moment.
Oh, so good.
Because of the whole roof, you know, jumping part in Limbo. And there we see marching, and now we see someone watching them, and again, headlights from a car. So it's like, you know, something's up. I remember when I first played this, I was like, something's up with these things that we don't have a name for.
Right.
They're either people, they're not. This is a really cool sphere. Again, I didn't find it, or orb. I didn't find it the first time through, but the second time through, I found it, and it ties in again with the hidden ending. But here you have that weird music playing in the background, which in the hidden ending is the music you play to open the door for the last chamber.
Yeah.
So you only hear it two parts in this game. You hear it that part, and when you find another orb later on. And I think it's very fitting that it comes at this moment. And again, whether you find it the first time through, the second time through, these people are, something's making them do what they're doing. Right. And, you know, we've already done mind control twice, and now we're watching people march in a line, coming off of a truck. Like, what is going on? That was what I was thinking out. What was going on, and I couldn't. The reason why I asked, like, what do you call them? Because I couldn't put a name to anything I was doing.
And that's sort of, I think that I just love this game so much. It's a game that's really. It really, like, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it really is like unlike any other game that you've played.
It is,
but it's got so many callbacks to different types of media that we've. Even like the look of the kid, it's just like something.
Yeah,
like
the red. As soon as I saw the kid, I was thinking Schindler's List.
Right, and that actually, it was so funny because before when you interrupted me, I was just like,
oh, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it wasn't me being shady.
All right,
it was happened. But before
again, I apologize for the interruption.
You're the worst. So before I was gonna mention. That's sort of the beginning, and when you see him running away from the truck, seeing the people taken away in the truck, you see the way he sneaks around. It reminds you of basically any Holocaust movie you've ever seen, right? So, which one is the other one? La Vita es Bella, Life is Beautiful, Schindler's List, just like any Holocaust movie where people are getting away from, you know, the Nazis.
Yes.
This whole section is very reminiscent, with the exception of the gray people, or, you know,
the lifeless people.
Yeah.
So here, this is really cool because I remember the first time doing it, I was like, ooh, what are those things in the background? And I went and I opened the gate, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll push this switch.
So
And then
cool.
that's when we first hear. I didn't realize it would become such a big part of this next section, but that's when we first hear the beating. And if you notice, also you see people on the floor, and they're sort of twitching. And I didn't pick up on that the first time.
I didn't even notice that.
I don't even know if I noticed that there was people on the floor, but those
I don't think I did
sentries,
either.
if you get into their light, you know, they shoot that cord at you and they kill you.
And they kill you.
So I'm thinking, were those other people that were trying to get in there? You know, were those other people that were trying to get into the facility? Now we're doing a balancing act. And
Is that what we're doing?
now we're doing a balancing act.
I like how you're narrating like people can't see what's happening on the screen. Oh, and now we're in a room full of people, and
Well,
it's like
it's how I play games when I
you're not doing this for your blind uncle. Like this is like
Now this was like another big shift change for me when I was playing this game, is where I was like, I was already all in, but like, you know, take all my savings too, because this is where the danger. Take all my savings.
shut up and
too.
take my money.
I've already bought this game, but I'll give you more money, because like, you know, the first part you're immediately in danger, but here it's like, holy crap, like I'm in the assembly line. Like how, like now you're like so close. Obviously, if you're thinking about you're the boy, or you're playing as the boy, or if you're trying to get the boy to safety or wherever he needs to be, you don't want him to be in this position. You don't want him to be this close to danger.
Oh, this part, I mean, because it has the heartbeat too.
Mm-hmm.
That sound of the heartbeat, it's just so unsettling and like. But you know what? I will say this. I think that when you do these playthroughs for this specifically, I think you need to let yourself die in the moments that it struck you how he died. And the moments that you're just sort of like, ooh, like this part's really great, because if he messes up, he like suffers this awful death.
Yes.
We don't.
Yeah,
we don't
that
get
camera shoots you like a little cord, and
See,
it drags you off.
We don't get to see that
That's
here.
true, yeah.
So that's something that just for future reference, it might be a good idea to sort of have that. Oh, this is so cool. It's so cool. It's so tense.
You see these people in the background with masks on, and they're judging, they're watching. Some of them have notepads, some of them don't. There's
I
a
don't
little
think
kid
that
with
they're
that
judging.
one.
I really think that they're window shopping.
They're shopping. Yeah, that's a big, you know, that's a big thing. People, you know, we talked about. It's like these are products. These are people.
Are products. It's so scary, but it's like.
But we can tell that these are right now. These are people that are living. Would you say? Are they still alive? Do they know what's going on? I mean, the way he's moving in relation to the way they're moving, he's trying to blend in, but he seems more, obviously he's more aware because we're controlling him, but are these people dead right now?
I think they might be, and I think that the boy might be a 2.0 version of them. I think they are dead, but I don't know that the little boy is.
You think he's a more advanced version?
Yeah, he's like the next generation of the gray people.
Because that's going along with the theme that the boy is going inside because he's trying to get to the big, you know, blob at the end, which actually has a name, the Huddle.
That's so weird.
It's called the Huddle.
The Huddle.
And here I do die.
Oh, you do die.
Because here I forgot.
But you did that on purpose, right?
Yeah, I totally did on purpose. I hesitated here because I knew I had to like do something with the dog, like bring him back a certain way, and then I'll die again. Spoilers. But again, the deaths.
You're like, oh nope, that wasn't it.
They're brief. They're gruesome.
Yeah.
But the dogs bring up a good question too, because
why have they been trained to seek out? And are they seeking out people who? Yeah, that's and the dogs are like, you know, that's why I think the boy is alive, because what were they looking at on that line? Why did the dog come after him?
Yeah, the dog sensed him out of the line. The people couldn't tell.
He sniffed at him out.
He walked by all those people, and none of those people can tell this kid who has a red shirt.
Right.
It's smaller than everyone else.
He's not following the dress code.
But the dog was able to smell him out.
Right. So I do think he is alive. Unlike the other gray people. I guess I'm calling them the gray people now.
I remember this puzzle took us
oh my god, it took us so long.
And see, the thing
I don't remember how we solved it, so I guess...
The thing about the puzzles is that if you overthink them, you'll take longer with them. They're actually all pretty simple. But since everything is presented in a different and new way, you start trying to problem solve in a different and new way.
Yeah.
When
I'm sorry, I just had this thought about that earlier because you were saying they're observing it, they're taking notes. I thought that they were shopping.
Yeah.
But given the ending, are they observing to see how he is going through the obstacles that they've set? I don't know that they set obstacles for him, because it does certainly seem like there are people chasing him, you know, that he does have obstacles to face. So are they trying to see how good they're doing at being able to control him?
So that's going along with the theory, the other big theory, that he's the experiment, that
Right.
all of this is set up for him to see if he passes the test,
Right.
because he is the next evolution of the people they're
the
making.
great people, which makes perfect sense. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I was thinking just now, because I was like, are they observing him more so than all the people? But it doesn't seem like they're taking particular care to like observe.
Yeah,
him
if he dies, he
particularly.
dies.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
so
like, is there
yeah.
more? Is there more than one of him? Also, check out that sweet staircase in the background. Like, that's actually, like, they actually use that staircase it's a spiral staircase that looks like it can cut you.
Right.
There's no rails on it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be so brave to go up that staircase. Also, this kid has to be so brave. Like, I remember playing this, like, this kid has to be so brave to be doing all this stuff, to be floating mid-air. Would you
can't
be
be
able to
great
do
for
that?
your neck.
Would you be able to float mid-air and just, you know,
can't be great for your spinal cord.
mind control?
Yep.
So here's an instance where I think that if the people weren't already alerted that someone's in there when they shouldn't be, now we have more people, the way they scurry off, these construction workers. And again, it's like what I think about when playing, we're coming to the end of this.
Because does somebody come after you after this? I can't remember.
Not yet. Okay. Not yet. But we're getting to the end here. But I just remember when first playing this, the one thing, when you see those other people that are watching the gray people,
right.
When you see these guys in construction hats, when you see this building, when you go on later on and you find the offices, it's like people are okay with this.
It's really unsettling.
People are okay with this, and that was one of the biggest things that kept drawing me in to continue playing this game and just be so invested in it. Is just like, what is the big secret? What are they hiding? But also, why are so many people okay with this big secret?
Right.
Why are so many people okay with these experiments?
Why were so many people okay with the Holocaust? You know
That's
what I mean?
true. Yeah, exactly.
So it's, you know, history repeats itself.
Yes.
And I do think that this is just a very poignant time to be doing a game like this. Even though they did it, you know.
Well, this game came out in 2016.
2016. So not too long ago.
We played it last year, 2017. No, we played it at the beginning of this year, 2018.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Because I bought it right after Christmas.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But it, you know, I'm always late with games. I'm always 2 years late because I wait till they go on sale.
Because we're on a budget.
We're on a budget.
We gotta save that money.
But yeah, but it's, I think, and these are just themes. I think, like you said, the Holocaust. I mean, even you go back to ancient times, there was always people, you know, being forced to do things against their will. I mean, the pyramids didn't build themselves.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so here we're gonna end it here. This was fun. And we're going to keep rolling into the second part of Inside and see where the journey takes us.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.